I'm Tania Gustafson, award-winning nutritionist, behavior specialist, and certified mental wellness coach on a mission to help midlife women move from barely surviving to thriving. You have been lied to. Weight gain, mood swings, hot flashes, brain fog, despite what the world and even your doctor may have told you, do not have to be your story. You are not broken. You've just never been shown how to fuel your body in a way that creates hormonal balance. Fit Woman Podcast is where we expose the lies and share all things to help women take back control of their health, hormones, weight, and mental wellness and thrive through midlife. I'm so glad you're here. Hello there and welcome to Fit Woman Podcast. Oh my gosh, I am super excited. You have taken the time to join me today for the first ever episode of Fit Woman Podcast. We are launching today. So this is where we dive into all things that help and support women fuel their bodies, ignite their metabolisms and their mind so they can thrive through life. No more surviving, hanging on by your fingernails, barely making it through the day. It's time to thrive. Okay. So if midlife, perimenopause, menopause, and all the craziness that goes with it is something you've been struggling with, you are definitely in the right place. Welcome. You're not alone. Okay. I am Tania Gustafson, board certified nutritionist, hormone balance coach, certified mental wellness coach, personal trainer, and I've been navigating this health and fitness industry since 1986. So yeah, I'm dating myself a little here. I know. I am 57, happily married with 3 amazing, wonderful adult kids, and I am blessed to have 2 grandbabies, a little grandson and a little granddaughter, which is literally the best thing that has happened to me in midlife for sure. So I have a background in education and behavior therapy, and I brought all that knowledge, incorporated all the knowledge, the strategies, and the experience from that world into everything that I teach women about taking back control of their health, their hormones, their weight, gut health, and mental wellness. It's all related, and it all can be, really serving us in midlife, or it can be a disaster in midlife if it's not done right. So, because navigating all of these things in menopause and midlife is more than just what you do for your physical body; it's in your mind as well. So bringing all of that I have with that background in behavior therapy and bringing it here and in my coaching practice, because it's really a lot about up here that helps you do everything you need for the rest of your body, the rest of your life. Your thoughts and beliefs determine your actions determine your results. So my goal is that as you tune in every week, you will learn something about yourself that will not just get you started on your health journey, but will help keep you moving forward, asking the right questions, learning, growing, and ultimately aging younger. Yay, you can do it. You can do it. Trust me, it's a thing. I was privileged to hear Paul Zane Pilzer speak several years back, and I remember his words. He said, there is a small demographic of people getting healthier as they age. And so I've always added to that, it's not an exclusive club. You can join, right? Anybody can join. I am living proof. I joined that club, and literally I am stronger and healthier at 57 than I was at 27 or 37. It's just, I'm living proof. My family is living proof. My dad is healthier in his 80s than he was in his 50s and 60s. I've just seen remarkable results when people take the time to implement some small things, and especially for us women in midlife, because there's a lot that we've been lied to. And just the whole history of health in my family and everything is what really started me on this journey of health and aging younger. So everyone used to call me the health nut. and it's kind of true, because I was always looking for something to improve health. I had always struggled with my immune system, and I kind of thought it was normal up to a certain point. And I just remember at the age of 16, my dad went and he started seeing a naturopath because he was having some issues with his blood sugar and his cholesterol and his blood pressure and all those kinds of things. And all of that, even though We lived on a farm. We grew our own food. My dad hunted. He was a contractor. He, physically was out there finishing concrete and building houses. And, and we ran a farm. We had horses, we had cows, we did all the things. And so it was quite, striking to think that, well, if you're doing all of these things, how can you still have these health issues, right? And I used to get sick multiple times a year. Like I remember going to school so sick, like just stuffed up like crazy for weeks. I would get bronchitis a lot. Right even into when I had my three kids, my youngest one, when she was 6 weeks old, I had pneumonia. It was just terrible, and so I was always looking for things that to not have to take so many medications and to try and sort of improve my immune system is kind of where it started. And the results that I saw with my dad, seeing that naturopath and how that changed for him and how he used food in different ways really left an impression. So that, as I kept trying different things and adding, supplements and vitamins and changing a few things here and there, when I had my own children, and one of my children ended up with a really severe gut issue. She had a blocked colon when she was about 2, just under 2. And there's code speak now that I understand many years later that I did not understand then. And so they wouldn't properly check her. They wouldn't x-ray her until I finally insisted. I told them she's waking up in the middle of the night and she's crying. And so, then they finally x-rayed. And their comment was, because even though, okay, we talk a little bit about poop when it comes to health. So I'm going to start right off talking about that. But my daughter was eliminating every day. And so they were, really kind of brushing me off, saying, it's not that, it's not that. And I just had this feeling something was wrong. And so I kept complaining until they finally did it, did the test, did the x-rays. And then they said, oh yeah, there's a lot more in there than we would have liked to have seen, which now I know is holy, what the heck? How did this happen to this poor little thing? And I've kind of figured that out later because they gave me adult doses of medication for my daughter at 2 years old. And it took about 6 days for that to kind of go through her system. And then the healing process began. Because although you clean out the body, you need to assess what the damage was that was in there or what got damaged that caused this problem to begin with, rather than just keep putting medication in there every time it happens, right? Like that's just not an option. And I know that from what I know now, based on what she was going through then, and that had we not done anything and just ignored it, gone the medication route, said, oh, she's got a stomach ache again, let's just give her some of this, that she would have ended up with colitis or Crohn's. I really believe that. And the medical system was not helping. They were telling me, check on a few things. Don't stay on this too long. It can be addictive. That one's okay. Adjust it and come back in 6 months. I had no sort of medical degree, but that's where my nutritional training really started to come into play, because my whole, mama bear kind of thing rose up and went, wait a minute, I don't want my child to be sick. I don't want my child to be in pain. What do I do about this? And I was noticing with her food, certain things would bother her. Certain things were okay. Certain times of the day, things would bother her. Other things were okay. And so I started kind of paying attention and doing kind of my own sort of research through observation and reading and things. We didn't even have a computer in the home at the time, barely. It came afterwards. And so just, it was really cumbersome, and it took a really long time. It took almost 10 years to resolve the whole thing, to be completely honest. But we stuck with it. We kept, every time we learned better, we did better. Every time we learned something new, we did something, and we really ended up always moving her ahead and gaining a little bit of ground, which was really helpful. And so I say all that to say that, I've been in the health and fitness space for a long time, and that's where my nutritional real interest really sparked, when I could see that how you could turn someone's health around using food and properly filling the gaps and healing the gut. And so as I did that, I was also looking, right around the time that I was helping my daughter there, I was also looking for something to help me get rid of pain. I had arthritis for about 20 years. due to some injuries that I had as a teenager, using, having not the greatest shoes on bad floor, doing fitness classes and gymnastics and cheerleading and all the things, and not protecting my lower legs properly because they're the wrong floors and everything for the wrong activities. And I ended up with shin splints and severe stress fractures, to the point where, the muscle was pulling away from, if this were your shin, the muscle behind would be pulling away from the tibia bone, causing these, stress fractures, they called it. And when I finally went to get it checked, it was my mom who noticed that I had been limping, and I really kind of brushed her off. And she said, "No, we need to get that checked." And they did all the testing and the, x-rays and things. And my doctor said, if you keep doing it the way you're doing, if you keep going the way you're going, in about a month, you'll break both your legs from the knees down. So it was quite significant. So I had to stop and heal and do the right exercises and get the right shoes and all the things. And I did. I was able to heal that up and entered into the health and fitness space as a fitness instructor, because I just love that whole concept of healing and helping. And it kind of went with my health nut vibe of looking up healthy foods, right? And so I was doing all those things, but because of the damage that had been done in there, I was like a weather vane. For 20 years, I could tell you if it was going to rain or snow, or if it was going to be today or tomorrow, and just based on the intensity and how much things hurt and ached. And that's kind of how I lived for about 20 years. I didn't like to take medication. Sometimes I had to. Other times I would just deal with it, keep moving so I wouldn't think about it, and then go to bed early or something. But it was like that for a good 20 years, maybe 21 years. Until I started learning about antioxidants. And so that's kind of where my, that whole filling in your gaps, healing your gut, and where inflammation really came in. That was a big eye opener to me. So we've all heard about inflammation, but really, what is it? What's the damage that it can do? How much damage can it do? And it can do a lot. Let me tell you, it's the root of all disease. And you don't want to let it fester in your body. And so when I learned that, I started doing some things to minimize it. And I was very successful. I was able to, in a very short period of time, get rid of the arthritis that I had for 20 years. And now for the last 17 years, zero arthritis pain. So I am super, super happy about that. Not to mention, with the inflammatory response, I learned about blood sugar stabilization, which is the foundation of what I coach my clients in. So if you're doing a one-to-one coach with me, if you're following me on social media, if you're watching my videos on the website, whatever, you're going to see me talk about blood sugar stabilization, because it is key to the balance in our body, the way our body is designed to function. And so when I learned about that and put that together with the, bringing down the inflammatory response, and those two things work together, little did I know at the time, it took me 22 years. Let me just back up for a second. I was in the health and fitness industry at this point, discovering this. I had been in the health and fitness industry by that point, 22 years. 22 years. So when I say health and fitness, I really mean health and fitness industry, because it was, and to a certain degree still is, it's getting better, but there was very little about health and a whole lot about fitness and weight loss, right? It was always about fitness and weight loss, and health was always about dieting and weight loss. It wasn't focusing on the overall health of your body and your mind and your gut and all the things. It just wasn't focusing on any of that. And so when I started to put the pieces together and learning from workshops that I went to and experts that I was able to meet and contact with and work with, it was just really, really eye-opening. And so little did I know that as I was learning to balance my blood sugar, bring down that inflammation, I was also balancing my hormones. So what would have been, and I noticed that as my cycle started to balance better. And what I mean by that is, so I was, at 40, I was thinking, I was like, I had always had really painful back aches with my cycle, always. And it would start about 5 days out, maybe a week out, and I'd be like, oh, okay, here we go again. Just, trying to ignore it, doing my thing. I find sometimes it would be better if I did more exercise or something like that, did some stretching, put some heat, but it was always there. I could just count on it, right? That was like the thing. You always knew it was coming. And when I started to learn about the inflammation and bring that down and then balance my blood sugar, balancing your blood sugar also balances your hormones. Key when it comes to hormonal issues, right? Which I had no idea about then. I had heard about the blood sugar stabilization, did not know how it related to hormones. And so fast forward, looking back, I was like, oh my gosh, because this is what happened. So first of all, I'm doing that. And then I noticed in very short order again, within a couple of months that, oh, instead of, 5 to 7 days of a back pain, it was more like 3 or 4. And then it went to, 1 or 2. And then it was completely gone. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any pain at all. So I didn't have the arthritis pain, and I no longer had those perimenopausal symptoms of the back pain and then the irritability and all that kind of stuff that went with it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. And so in my 50s now, and then coaching women who are having all of these crazy responses, as I, when I got to where I actually went into menopause, which was about 50, end of 49, 49 and a half, 50-ish. So somewhere between, I guess, 49 and a bit to about 51, I guess, 50, almost 51. It was about a year and a half. And when I turned 50, so my husband and I planned a really spectacular trip. So this is relevant. Stick with me here. And we went on a trip to the UK and Europe, and we were gone for 5 weeks. And we traveled. We did all the things. We, ate all the wonderful foods. We did 12 cities over 8 countries. Sometimes we stayed in Airbnbs or hotels. Sometimes we stayed with people that we knew. Because we had hosted international students, so we had a lot of invites. We could stay with people over the years. And so we did all of that, but I ate all the things, I did all the fun stuff. But because I had been living in a balanced state, knowing how to balance my blood sugar, keeping that inflammation at bay, which was balancing my hormones, super important as I was heading into menopause, right? Then as I was enjoying this wonderful trip, I did not have, as I was heading into menopause, no hot flashes. I had none of those menopausal symptoms that you hear about, like not the brain fog and not the moodiness and not the hot flashes. I had no itchy skin. I had no rashes. I didn't lose my hair, none of that kind of crazy stuff. I just was really, really able to enjoy that time. And I just was like, oh, my cycle stopped. It's, stopped and started a little bit and then finally just stopped. And that was the only symptoms that I really experienced that I can, that really kind of was something different. And so making women aware that they can be preemptive in that. And if you're like, well, hey, Tanya, I'm past that. I'm sorry. I'm suffering. It's for you too, because you can walk back those symptoms. And that is a big piece of what women don't know, and what the industry, what the whole health and fitness industry has lied to women about. They've lied to us about dieting. They've lied to us about menopause and hormones and perimenopause and all the things. It's just been a huge, big lie to support, whenever something doesn't make sense, it's follow the money, right? So if they're lying to us about the simple things that we can do, there's got to be a reason, right? So if they're lying to us about dieting, right? Like we don't have to diet in order to get results. You can eat more probably than what you're eating every single day now, more often, and enjoy the foods you love in a balanced way that will help your body naturally release stored fat, turn on your metabolism, balance your hormones that we were talking about, which then can help you walk back those menopause symptoms, a lot of which that menopause symptoms is weight, right? Which is what really gets a lot of the women that come to me. That's the catalyst that has them reach out, because they're just at their wits' end. They're like, well, I'm doing these good things. I'm eating good food, and I'm avoiding this, and I'm not having my wine, and I'm going for walks, and I'm working out hard, and there's a laundry list depending on, I've talked to so many women, there's a laundry list. They're trying to do as many things as they think that they can, and they're still not getting results, because healthy and balanced are different things. And putting the right things together at the right time really makes that difference. So, the FIT principle here is fuel, ignite, thrive, right? All things that help women fuel their bodies, ignite their metabolism and their mind so they can thrive through life, because that mental piece is the piece that because, okay, we're going back to we've been lied to and the whole dieting industry and lied to about hormones. And along with that, the whole culture of dieting and lies has also brought with it shame and guilt and a poor relationship with food and a poor relationship with your body and problems with self-worth and just not believing that you're worthy. And you are worthy. You are worthy of living a healthy, enjoyable life. You are worthy of not succumbing and suffering to years and maybe decades of hormonal imbalance symptoms. You are worthy of showing up for yourself to feeling good, you know? And so that's what the fit method is all about. And that is why I launched this podcast called Fit Woman Podcast, so that we can just debunk all those myths, bring in some amazing women to talk to and hear what's going on in their world, see if it resonates with you, get those little nuggets that you can use to help you fuel your body, ignite your metabolism and your mind to thrive through midlife. No more hanging them by your fingernails. We're thriving. So I am looking forward to diving into all the episodes with you. Join me each and every week right here on Fit Woman Podcast. You can find me on all the spots where podcasts are found, right? If you want to watch the video, go over to YouTube. If you're great with the audio, check out the other podcasts, Spotify and all the things. And subscribe and follow, throw your comments in there. I'd love to hear what, things that you're looking to talk about as well too, because you know what, this is for you. I'm here to serve. And I'm just so grateful to be holding this space to help you and the rest of the women here thrive in midlife. All right. I'll see you again next week. Join me. I can't wait.